I've lost them again. I've got the military outlook.
We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham City, down at St Andrews, we are
lost all volume.
The chant of Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's hear you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point at home when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have the team that's tops here at St Andrews. They gotta give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever. Let's hear it from the stand. So come on, City, sing this song once more. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end
Nick.
of the day. We're so
Monday night, of course, 7:30 through till 9 o'clock tonight. And we've got a super special guest with us this evening. And Mr. Hipkiss is also from his tooth surgery. Welcome to you, Paul.
Thank you very much. Good evening, all.
A.K.A. Mr. Sheen. And, of course, we have Mark Adams, as always, A.K.A. Mr. Robe.
Hello, everybody. You okay?
We have Mrs. Brown.
Good evening.
We have good self, and, of course, the legend that is Mark Ward, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along, Mark, and thanks for giving your time up tonight, mate. We really appreciate it. So we can have a look at some insights to your time at the Blues. Of course, this programme is sponsored by Boyle Sports, the principal sponsors of Birmingham Football Club, in conjunction with SAS, our good friends at Bawdsey Labour Club, and, of course, the Garrison Coffee Company. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Remembered it. I've got a bit of flashing going on my computer screen, so we'll try and sort that out in a minute. So we're actually having a disco in here tonight, to be honest with you. Welcome along, Mark Ward.
Yeah, welcome, lads. Thanks for having me.
Nice one. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure, mate. It's great that you give your time up. It's very strange times that we're living in at the moment. Just been listening to the news a little bit earlier. Tier 1, 4,000 football fans will come in. Tier 2, 2,000 football fans. Tier 3, none. I've got a feeling Birmingham and the West Midlands will be Tier 3. And I think we'll be the same up here as well, in and around the Derby areas. So, I don't know, onto your helmets, guys, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Got to say a massive, massive, massive happy 70th birthday to the legend, Frank Worthington. Happy birthday, Frank Worthington, a.k.a. Elvis Presley. Birthday, mate. Hope you've had a good one, and there's many more to come. Mark, your time with us, you were solid, weren't you? You were a hard nut, weren't you? A proper hard nut.
I wouldn't say that. No, it's a surprise to me to leave Everton. I still had 18 months of my contract left, and only for falling out with Mike Walker. They say goalkeepers don't make good managers, and that's a true statement. And he come to Everton Football Club, and the club was too big for the man, you know. But me being the man I am, I told him straight, and like I said to the lads before, the only thing that we had in common was our initials, and I think the day I put my car in his car parking space, because it had MW on the floor at the car park, I said to him, listen, all the great managers in the history of this club I said, never had to put their initials down on the car park. I said, because everybody respected him. As you know, he was just the man. He was never there at the club. He was only there, you know, come in the afternoon. And like I said, that morning I drove in and I parked the car in where he parked where he should have done, and he didn't like it. So that was the last time I kicked the ball for Everton Football Club.
There you go.
And how did it come about then, Mark? Obviously, you came to us then, and did you say it was David Sullivan that got in touch?
Yeah, you know, I'd scored against Liverpool in the derby that season. I'm a proper Scouser because I'm an Evertonian. Proper Scousers are Evertonians. Always remember that. We were the first club in the city.
Yeah.
They have supporters from Norway, Sweden, Pluto, Mars, everywhere bar Liverpool. You know, when you go to Goodison, it's 99% Scousers. You know, you go there and they're from every walk of life. But yeah, I just went. I wanted to go out on loan, and there was a couple of clubs down south, and then Sullivan rang me up and said, and then Barry rang me up after Sullivan and said, just come and his words were, come and show these how to pass the ball. So I said, just come to the end of the season. We're already down. And I said, being the type of guy I am, there was 10 games left. They hadn't won a game for 3 months. And I said, what happens if we keep it up? He said, well, we've got to pay your wages, but there's 75 grand bonus there. So, you know, we missed out by 1 goal.
Unbelievable.
My wife at the time wasn't very happy.
No. And you certainly showed us how to pass the ball, that's for sure.
Oh God, yeah.
I think the first game was we played Middlesbrough, and they were quite high up in the league, and I think we beat them 3-0. And you know, I thought, well, not being big-headed, but coming down from the top flight, you know, a tier lower, I just found it quite not easy, but you know, the room that I had, and I felt it was easier for me to play in that level, you know.
Yeah.
We got back up.
Sorry, Nick.
We got back up though.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we.
In season, wasn't it?
Very unlucky not to stay up, to be honest, because we beat Tranmere last game of the season. I think it was West Brom had to get a better result than us on the day, and I think they went away and won away, and we missed staying up by a goal.
Yeah.
So, you know, I played out of them 10 games, I played 8. We drew 1 and lost 1. So I think it did make.
Oh, that's the Blues for you though. That's Birmingham City all over. We do. That's how we do it.
Well,
okay, let's have a quick chat about today's game. Well, Paul, Mr. Hipkiss, what did you reckon to that one?
Yeah, wasn't pretty on the eye, but again, I'll go back to what I've said before, that we need to be patient. You know, he is still. I genuinely believe that he's still learning about the squad and what's right, what's wrong, who plays where, and all that. And you know, it was all very defensive on Friday against Coventry at home, which obviously none of us really thought, you know, we had to do. But
wait,
you know, if one of them Duke chances goes in there. Sorry, Nick.
I've got to correct you, Paul. It was away, not at home.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, yeah. So we wouldn't expect to be defensive against Coventry away at home. I should have said sorry, not at home.
Tough place to go.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if one of them Djukovic chances goes in, then you know it's not all that bad, is it? So we did create the better chances. I did feel like we were the better team. Sorry, Nick.
If all 3 had gone in, it'd be a lot better for me.
Yeah. Well,
you know
the positive is we're keeping more clean sheets now. Obviously, people forgetting that, you know, we were getting rolled over every week before this season started, and he's only been here a few months. So let's give him a bit more time to get it right, and hopefully longer term, I'd like to think we'll create more chances and we'll be more entertaining on the eye.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Mark, Mr. Rowe. What's your take on Halilovic signing?
To be honest, Nick, I don't know a lot about him. I'm hoping he comes off. I think it could be the end of the line for someone like Crowley, though. I really do. I can see him going, Crowley. I think Cranker just doesn't rate him at all, does he? bit of a shame, but
something going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a shock if Crowley did go on loan or permanent. Maybe go somewhere back to Coventry or something like that.
Don't forget though, Mark, McGree's only with us, on a loan, isn't he? He's not here permanently, so
yeah.
But I don't know.
That could.
I don't know. I'm just thinking back to what when we had Paul Devlin, the other week, and then it's what he said. Paul Crowley does appear to be like a five-a-side sort of player.
Yeah.
Can he do it week in, week out? I know it's a squad game nowadays, but personally, I think there's still a player in Crowley.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too good for him, does it, at the minute? Maybe he does need a loan move to get his mojo back. I don't know. But as for the new lad, did you see the announcement video? It's quite funny, really. They did like the.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I won't ruin it for you, but it's Sonny driving into training, talking to him on the phone. It's very funny. It's very good.
It's certainly different, isn't it? It's certainly different. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to apologise, Jen. I've got a little bit of a lag going on here, so if I'm talking over, it's not because I mean to. It's just because you're a few seconds in, either in front or behind me, when someone's going on, so I don't know what it is.
So, Mark Ward, how old was you when you signed for us in early 30s? About 32, 33?
I was 32, yeah. 32, yeah. Wow. A bit old. I think, obviously when the season finished, I had another year left at Everton, so at the top level. And they hadn't sacked Mike Walker, and I wasn't one for just sitting around in the reserves. We'd fell out big time, and I've only left clubs. The only clubs I've left is because I didn't respect the managers I worked for, and I left West Ham because Lee McCarthy took over. He's never got the job in the first place, but he's never a West Ham manager. So
I remember the songs we used to sing at him when he used to come back.
Sorry?
Remember the songs we sang about came back from when he went to Stoke?
Oh, yeah. Luke, for the great little player he was just the opposite of the way I, wanted to play the game and the way West Ham played the game. And, especially after gambling, for his own team to lose, he got found guilty of that. How can you give someone a job who bets the opposition to beat you? You know what I mean? That's so straight away. That tells you what he was. He's never been in the frame with the job, But and it was easy for me to make a decision because I wanted to move on in the game, and especially in the coaching capacity. And when David said, we're offering you the same contract as on at Everton, but you want you as the player coach. And I said, well, what do you think? What do you think Barry will say? He said, leave Barry to me. So, he was pulling the strings there. So Barry rang me and he said, yeah, great to have you on board. You've done brilliant last season. He said, but you just concentrate on playing. And I went, no, I'm the player coach. I'm the first team coach. I'm going to be your best player. So straight away, there was a few problems, wasn't there? So we had to drop one of his coaches down, which he didn't want to do. But it all worked out in the end because we'd done the double, didn't we? So, we had our moments loads of times. But one thing about me and Barry, we're both winners. And sometimes in life, you don't get on with everybody. But, when he accused me of trying to take his job, I had a meeting with Karen Brady and all his staff. And I think it was the one time she really stuck up for me and asked them all how many games they played in the Premiership. And every one of them had to say none. So she said, well, that's why we brought Mark here, because he's been where yous have never been. So, and we spent a lot of money. And they were vindicated at the end of the day because we won the division and we went to Wembley and we won that. So, but my times there, I had a flat in Birmingham, really enjoyed living there. Had some great characters, and I thought the fans were fantastic.
Yeah, and it was great times back then going down. I mean, it's great. It's going to be great to go back down the Blues again after all this pandemic. But back then in the mid-90s, it was just brilliant, wasn't it? Guys going down the Blues then.
it was just fun.
Yeah, it was, especially when Barry was there. It was so much fun down the Blues when Barry Fry was the manager. Like, we're seeing him running up and down the touchline when we scored and all that kind of thing. You know, it was great fun.
Well, I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, you know, and
yeah,
because where I'm living, it's in Essex, and it's not far from Southend, and obviously that's where he was for years before.
Yeah,
to Birmingham. So one of the guys said he's, you know, very popular down this end. So there's a lot of West Ham down this end as well. He said, I'd like to get you both together. I said, well, that's fine. I said, well, I'll host it. I said, I'll ask Barry questions and he can ask me questions. So anyway, got his number and he said, I won't swear because his first words were swear words. I said, Barry, it's Wardy. He went, the effing best player I've ever signed. How are you? I said, I'm okay, Baz. I said, I've got something to ask you. So I asked him and he said, yeah, whatever. He said, he'll definitely meet up with me and we'll get a venue and there'll be fireworks, I think, that night.
Definitely.
We'd love to one night.
Sorry?
We'd love to get him on here one night.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
The one thing about him, he's entertaining and, you know, he's a colourful guy and he's done brilliant, you know, and I think some of the things that he did, he left all the training to me that season and, you know, I enjoyed everything about it, really. The problem that I had was trying to get a first team squad out of the 50-odd players because the numbers killed it, really, you know. So, but we had so many to choose from. But I think that the team more or less picked itself, and we had some great players that season, to be honest.
Yeah, we did. Definitely. Yeah, and a lot of the lads went on to play in the Prem as well, didn't they? Daishi and Claridge and,
you know... No, we were strong right through the middle. When you think, I always like a strong middle. We had a great keeper, Benno.
Yeah, Benno as well. Here's another one.
Yeah, Daishi was a great captain, leader, hard as nails. You know, typical centre half. That's how you want your centre halves to be. You know, centre mid myself, and you had Claridge up front. So when you think right through the spine of the team, you got four, you know, really good players.
Yeah. And Jose Dominguez went on to Spurs, didn't he? And played in the Prem as well.
He did, yeah. The little fella, I always felt sorry for him. I felt as though he got bullied a lot by Barry. Because Barry's way of dealing with a lot of things is shouting at people. And, you know, I think the higher you get up in the game, the better managers and the most astute managers, the ones that say the least. You know, Howard Kendall, ex-Birmingham player, fantastic player, fantastic coach. Fantastic human being, you know, come to visit me in prison, just a fantastic person. He signed me twice for over £1 million, so he knew his players. And like I say, Barry, he had his way of managing. And I've always said this, you'd never manage at the top level because players wouldn't tolerate the way he was with them, you know. He was very, very vocal, a verbal bully, that's what I called him. He couldn't bully me.
If he did come on board, we'd have to have him after 9.
Sorry?
If he did come on, we'd have to have him on after 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock, yeah, it'd have to be a late one,
A late one, yeah.
You know, you'd have to have the bleeps in, you know what I mean? So
have the bleeps in, yeah.
Chris Brown couldn't react that quick, don't worry.
Oh, yeah. You know, he's well worth getting on board because he's good mileage and he's good fun.
Yeah,
mind there's quite a few characters in that team, aren't there? That 95 squad. You know, you look through the whole squad. They're just good players, but they're real characters as well, aren't they? You know, Claridge and Tatey, and you know, all the way through. The player I used to like watching was Peter Shearer. I think he was so underrated at the time.
He was, yeah. He was very good. He was.
Yeah. So
right, Stuart Jones said.
I was going to ask Mark if he's still in touch with any of them.
Go on, Mark.
No, sorry, Mark. I was going to say, do you still keep in touch with any of that era, any of that squad?
I think he's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah, looks like we've lost Mark. We'll get him back. Right, well, ask Mark when he does come back on that if you haven't done so already, have a read of Mark's book, From Right Wing to B Wing. It's an honest and open view of how good and bad things can happen to a footballer. Keep right on. Stuart Jones for that. Okay, so we've got to improvise now. We've got no Mark Ward. It wasn't very often he went missing on the pitch, to be honest with you.
No, it wasn't ever, was it?
No. I just hope I haven't offended him.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, got two competitions going on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Brown, will you tell us all about them, please?
Is Chris gone as well?
Brown. Mrs. Brown.
You're on mute.
Just left. Love it when a plan comes together, I do.
He's either pretending to be on mute because he don't want to tell you, or he's on mute.
I can see
his
him
mic's not working.
His
mic's not working again.
You got no mic?
Got no mic. No.
Oh.
His mic's gone missing. Mark's gone missing. Mike's gone missing.
It's all going Pete Tongue.
Just like Sky Sports.
Let's talk. What we're trying to get Mark back. Let's talk about the plans to get fans back into football as of next week. Encouraging, dangerous, I think, but encouraging. And obviously, if you're in level 1, which Ray Hobro seems to be, he seems to think that he can get to the Blues, but I don't think he'll be allowed in there. 4,000 fans, or 50% of your capacity. Level 2, 2,000 fans, or I can't remember the other part of that one was, but 4,000 fans. Okay, it's going to be better than nothing, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, but how are you going to work it out? How are you going to divide it?
I don't.
That's the thing.
I really don't know.
It's just.
Don't know. I mean, to get 4,000 people turning up as well. What if they all turn up together? What if they're all walking down the same streets? The logistics is going to be a nightmare, isn't it?
I mean,
yeah. Sorry, Mark. Go on.
I'd say do you literally do a lottery draw? And if you get to go one week, do you get taken out the draw the week after? I mean,
well, Stoke City come up with a good idea. They had, I think it was a red season ticket and a white season ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. If
you've got the red, you can go to the game. If you've got the white, you can go to the next game. Red one back onto the next game. So at least you can get half of them. So, then obviously, lockdown 2 happened, and nobody's going anywhere, are they?
No.
But what if you've got 14 or 15,000 season ticket holders, and that's 7,500 each, isn't it?
Sorry.
So if you had 15,000 season ticket holders, which roughly we've got, it, we're between sort of 12 and 15,000.
Yeah.
Then that's that's 7.
The maximum is 4,000, right?
That's my point. Yeah. So
how it works out is if your ground only holds 4,000, you can only have 2,000 in.
So how do you define who that 2,000 people are?
It'll have to be a lottery, wouldn't it?
We're going to have to be anyway.
That's it. And as they say, I mean, like I say, those of us who are lucky enough to have a season ticket, but if you haven't got a season ticket, have you got any chance of ever going?
Yeah, we got Mark back now. You're right, Mark.
Sorry about that, my battery went.
You're right, Mark.
That's a bit embarrassing, sorry. But I had it plugged into one of them little chargers. I thought I had it plugged in, but it must have been the wire. I don't know.
What do you reckon, Mark? What do you reckon anyway about fans sort of going back in between sort of 2 or 4,000, 2, 3 or 4,000?
A load of I just heard the back end of that. How are you going to police that? How are you going to how are you choosing fans?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's ridiculous. So it's a bit of a lottery, isn't it? So the only way you're going to do it is in like a draw, really. Because how can you choose?
Exactly. And going down the Blues with my dad and social distancing and being like 10 seats down from him or something.
Yeah.
Kind of and sat there in the freezing cold sort of, I mean, don't get me wrong, it'll be great to go again. But for me, I'd just, I don't know if I'm going to go until it's all, for me, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one. And 4,000 fans. Like, look at the London Stadium at West Ham. If you put 4,000 fans in there, it's going to look empty, you know.
Yeah.
Surely a stadium like that, you can still do social distancing. It's huge. You know, you could even get at least 12,000 in there. So I don't know who comes up with all these numbers and things like that. You know, it's this COVID's really getting me down and a lot of other people. And,
Boris misses numbers, I think.
Yeah, it's just unbearable. You know, hopefully.
Well, Jason Hughes said I saw Blues versus Field with only 4,100 fans at St Andrews. I was there for that game, and we'd been there before. That was standing then. Oh, so it was proper. That was a proper big stadium before it was redeveloped.
Yeah.
The thing is, what sort of atmosphere we're going to have with 4,000? You know, socially distanced.
Yeah.
It's going to be a joke.
It'd be better than no fans,
what's
Mark.
It's better than nothing.
Mark, what's happened now is we're looking at completely empty stadiums, apart from the cardboard cutouts. So put 4,000 in. It's a start. It's to back, you know. And
it's baby steps.
I think it would be stupid. Yeah, it would be stupid. It would be folly to just open up and let everybody go. It would be stupid. Warren Starling says, hope they don't just look at the corporate side of the game. Hallelujah. I'll back that one.
Yeah.
And what else was that? Mark, Auntie Linda says, Mark Ward, Auntie Linda said, put 50 pence in the lecky.
Yeah, remember that?
Brendan, we can have a party when we come back. Nick, hey,
we used
I'll
to
give Rangers £4. Hey,
to put money on the back of the telly as well.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Look,
on a Friday, my dad used to take all the money out and go for a pint.
Mine too.
So, Mark,
Steve Paul, a very, very, very question here, Paul. Will they turn away fans who are deemed medically vulnerable? I would say probably. Sadly, but probably.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Can't answer that.
That'll be down to all the.
I done an event with Frank McAvenny, just before the lockdown down here. We sold 150 tickets. And I stood up, because I don't mince my words, and I said, listen, we're all one family here. We're all the West Ham family, right? And our song is Bubbles, so we're all in the bubble. I'm forever blowing bubbles. I said, but listen, I don't want people coming back here in a week's time or wherever to this club and saying, I caught COVID because I was out here. I said, if you've got any underlying conditions, or you're very overweight, or you feel a bit nervous, just go home now. You can have your money back. I said, so everybody is their own safety officer. So you just mentioned there, if you've got a problem, you don't go to the game. You stay out of it. You stay out of it until there's a vaccine, and you know, don't put yourself in that position. And this is what I can't understand. Let the people who are healthy and get out to work and keep the country going, and the vulnerable, the elderly, and the people who've got diabetes and all this, stay away from everything. Simple, isn't it? It's simple.
That is.
They're the ones who adapt.
Yeah, Peter says get 3,999 fans in plus Jeremy. That would be a great atmosphere. Come on.
Bless him.
Paul says K2 will be arrogant. They've got a job to do. At the end of the, they've got to keep you safe. They've got to keep you distanced. And it's like Mark just said, it's down to you as well. It's down to you as a person to keep yourself safe, keep everybody else safe, and keep everybody else in your family when you go back home safe. And keep the ground open so that more and more people can go.
So, Mark, who did you, on away games, who did you share a room with, and you got any funny stories to tell us, that you can tell us?
No, I used to room on my own.
Did you?
I was the coach. I was the coach, so, you know, funny stories. I always remember there was that many players. It was like Piccadilly Circus, wasn't it? Barry was buying a player every week.
It was, yeah.
There was an article done at the end of the season. He bought 22 players from his two previous clubs, Southend and Barnet.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot.
Honestly. So they all knew each other. There's a few little cliques and all that, but I always remember Ricky Otto fancied himself, and I had North against South in training. And, I'd done the way I was. It was difficult for me to split the squad up. You know what I mean? Because there was that many, and we didn't have enough coaches to coach all the players at times. You know what I mean? But I think Liam Dace and Tatey, we used to go out and have a beer down the Agley Road and met some great characters. The stories I can't tell, that's just unbelievable. And
Liberties, was it Liberties by any chance?
Yeah, I got a good eye at Liberties on the first, when I signed, it was the first home game. I think we won. I mean, my brother was down with a couple of Scousers, and no one had told me not to go there, and I just went in there and we got a proper hiding. And I always remember waking up in the morning and my brother Billy was in the middle of the bed and my other mate was there and the other one was on the camp bed, and the phone rang and I went to pick the phone up and I had a big bubble on my hand. I broke my hand, hadn't I? And it was Karen Brady. And she said, Mark, she said, the press have been on, the TV and the radio. I've heard that you've had a bit of a problem down at Liberties. And I turned around and looked at my brother. I thought he'd been in a car crash. That's how bad he was.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
She said, listen, I'll deal with it because I got bullied there myself. She said, it's an Aston Villa club. And I went, what do you mean an Aston Villa club? She went, well, that's where all the Villa go. And I didn't realise in the city that there were certain clubs that you could or you couldn't go to. Not like Liverpool, so... But I sorted it out with a couple of my friends anyway. It was a rude awakening. And Barry rang me and said, as long as you're fit for Saturday, son. And played with the cast on my face and a cast on my hand. And I got man of the match, we beat Swansea, away from home.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Got a special request just come in. Could you, if we give you Chris Brown's address, could you send a little card? He's gone. He's gone again. He's gone again. His name Mark.
I'm having a night.
Could you get a little card and just signature it for me and send it to Chris's address?
Yeah.
And I can't tell you. I'll tell you after this show's finished, Mark, what it's for, but I can't tell you now. Could you do that for us?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, whoever's written that will know exactly what it is, and we'll get that organised for you. No problem at all. All right. Okay. Steve Paul looks after vulnerable, though. The young, fit and healthy. This is the problem we have with locking away the vulnerable. I know, mate. I get it, Steve. I do get it. It breaks my heart. I promise you, it really does. Stuart, I think if fans go back and vulnerable fans can't attend, then have to put measures in place to keep them in contact. It will be difficult, but maybe just a wee phone call to check on this vulnerable. If you get players to call, that would even be better. Yeah, well, that's why we decided all the way through this COVID pandemic, no football on. We carried these shows on every single Monday night, and the guest lists have just gotten better and better and better. And it's their 10th season doing it now, 10 years. And wow, if you had a look at the guest list, it is on our Tilton Talk Facebook page. You're very welcome to join it. Just read that guest list over the years, right out loud. Dennis wants to know what you think about VAR.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm just glad. It's one reason why I'm not playing at this day and age, you know what I mean? It's just very frustrating. I love to tackle. I love to play the game as a man, really. And now they're taking the tackles out of the game, and it's just spoiling everything. And some of these decisions that are getting made, it's like the minus. It's just like a fingernail offside and things like that. How ridiculous is it getting? You know what I mean? So I think VAR was great to come into the game for one reason and one reason only, and that was the ball line technology, which, there were goals I played in games where the ball's gone over the line and, it was clear, but the linesman didn't see it. and really serious things that that you can just view. But they're trying to like VAR is running the game now. It's not the referee. That's what changed. The referee's there to referee the game, and I think it's getting too much now. It is getting too much. I think they've got.
Sorry, Mark. I was going to say it's human error which makes the game exciting, isn't it? I mean, bringing VAR in, it's like robotic.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's spoiling the game. The decisions, they've tried to change it a little bit. Imagine Barry managing now with VAR and some of these.
Oh God! Can you imagine?
Or Brian Clough. Imagine Brian Clough. Some of the managers. Imagine him getting interviewed after the game about VAR. I don't think he'd. I'd love to have seen that.
Yeah.
Technology, should enhance the game, and it's not. It's taking a lot away from the game.
Got some.
Chris Brown, can you hear me, Chris? Can you just nod? Yeah, okay. I hope you all saw that. His head nearly fell off. What time are we doing the first part of the draw?
Is it
now? Okay, we're in the first part of the draw now. This week, we're up till Christmas. What we've decided to do is try and raise £3,000 for several charities. PTSD is one. Paul Devlins is another. Help me out, Mr. Hipkiss.
Yeah, PTSD.
Jeff Horsfield.
Horsfield Foundation. Jeff Horsfield Foundation and Paul Devlin as well. Yeah.
And the the Birmingham homeless.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is raise £3,000 between now and Christmas. Chris has had 2 football cards on the go this week, and this is going to be for a signed shirt. Now, because there are 2 cards, there will be 2 winners. Those 2 winners will be placed into the semi-final. Mark will then write their 2 names down once it's been revealed who they are, and he will randomly pick one of them to win the signed shirt. Now, it's a signed shirt with Jude's signature on it. So it's one of the last signed shirts with Jude Bellingham's signature on. So here we go for the first draw. The next one will take place in about 15 minutes. And we have T. Otten.
Tottenham.
I've got it right. Okay, Tottenham. Thank you, Paul. Tottenham. So who was the winner on that one?
No idea.
No, you'll
Chris is gonna write it down.
Okay. Dennis was also asking Mark, have you got any regrets from your playing career?
Sorry, missed that.
Have you got any regrets from your playing career?
Maybe not getting an England cap. I think I was very close when I was at West Ham, and the first season we finished 3rd. We should have really won the league, to be honest. Liverpool was just, up to the last game of the season. Liverpool hadn't beat Chelsea. They'd been West Ham and Everton for the Championship, which in West Ham, in their days, it's never been done before, and it's the highest a team has ever finished in their history. So, I was lucky enough to play in every game that season, and it was a fantastic team with McAvenny and Cotty scoring 58 goals, and Devonshire and myself on the wings, Phil Parks, Alan Devonshire, Alvin Martin. What a great side. And we just ran out of games. And that's, I think Cloughie, I remember I destroyed Pearce a couple of times that season. And I think Cloughie said, take him to the World Cup. He's just destroyed the best left back in the world. And, I think I was, unlucky not to get a cap, really.
Well, our first semi-final is in, ladies and gents, and it is whoever bolted Tottenham. It was the one and only Stav. Well done, Stav. You're in the final. Another 15 minutes and we'll draw the one out. Yeah, crack on, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, so regrets. Yeah, and probably the England cap that I never got. But and sometimes in life, you leave clubs early. I probably regret leaving Birmingham, but I had no choice. And sometimes, like I left Everton to go to Birmingham, and they got to the cup final that season and beat Man United. So there's
remember that.
Yeah, there's another regret, and but I'm one of them players who's got to play. A lot of players just finish their careers off in the reserves, but I just love to play football, and Birmingham City gave me the opportunity, and I enjoyed the 2 seasons I had there. It was fantastic.
And how does it compare playing at St Andrews compared to Goodison Park?
Well, we had some good gates that season. I remember. I think they started doing the kid a quid or something. Was it kids getting free?
Yeah.
I just I think parents were taking the kids to the games then, and I enjoyed the evening games. There was a special atmosphere, and whatever club you're out of, you're winning. The fans love it, and it's like Tottenham now. They're top of the league, and everything's hunky dory, isn't it? With Birmingham, that second season, going back for promotion, automatic promotion, the pressure was on the club because they were by far the biggest club in the division. And, we were the big boys of that league where, especially at home as well, and we'd go away, everyone wanted to play Birmingham. They were the Liverpool or the Man United of the division. And the game was a tough game. And,
mind you, it's going back to the Wembley final. I mean, going to Wembley, it was weird that we were actually favourites going into a final. Normally we were the underdog, but I just felt, there's a lot of pressure that day because we were actually the favourite. And it wasn't the best of games, was it? From what I remember, I know we won and we had fun and everything, but it was really.
It was a disappointing game, and I didn't know it was Carlisle, obviously, but it was the game with the golden goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was a great game to be involved in, especially when you win with the golden goal, because you score the goal and then you see all the opposition just fall to the knees because it's over, isn't it?
Yeah.
So and it didn't work out, did it, for the rest of other competitions?
I went to the very first goal game. I think it was against Swansea at St Andrews, and we scored the golden goal in that. And we scored the golden goal in the final.
Yeah.
So what we've done, Mark, what I'd like to do now, if this is okay with everyone, is just do the questions from in the week, if that's all right. Yeah. So what we do, Mark, we just put on our page and ask our viewers to ask you any questions. So first one is from John Smith. He's saying he supported Blues since 1980-ish. He is one of the best 3 players I've seen in the last 40 years wear the blue shirt. So grateful he came to Blues and ran the show from midfield. What made you sign for Blues? So I think you've kind of touched upon that, but any more to add?
I think the 10 games that I had on loan, I just loved the club. I loved the atmosphere. The fans were great, and obviously I'd made an impression. I could have just gone there. People go on loan and just stroll through it and not even bothered. And it wasn't the bonus of the money really, because I always remember we beat Tranmere, and then we realised Wolves West Brom had won, so they stayed up by 1 goal. And I was flying out to the Cayman Islands the next day with my ex-wife, and it wasn't till going over the Atlantic she turned around to me and said, "Wasn't you on a bonus to keep Birmingham up?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I forgot all about it." So money wasn't. It was just I just wanted to play, and them fans at that last game were unbelievable. And even at Wembley the season afterwards, I think they took 55,000.
Yeah,
they hadn't been at Wembley a long time, and I'll always remember the fans, and living in the city was great.
Yeah.
Trevor John Smith is asking, looking back, what was your greatest memory playing for Birmingham City?
Well, 2 really. The Wembley victory was great, and I got man of the match, it wasn't a great game, but I think winning the league at Huddersfield away, atmosphere, because they were a good side as well, and I think Claridge scored, didn't he? And
he did.
Yeah, tight.
Yeah,
it's just the build up to that game, and I loved the game. The bigger the game, the better the player I was, and get man of the match at Wembley. I've scored derby goals against Liverpool, but to me, that was right up my street, and I just loved the occasion because you'd worked all year, all the travelling, and it was all about let's do it, let's get it done, let's get it finished, let's get back up.
Yeah, sure. Steve Jobs saying just ask Mark for his recollection of the 94-95 double season and that midfield axis of Hunt, Shearer, and yourself.
Yeah, because we had a lot of players, but especially the midfield didn't really change so much. And Hunt, was a great player, and Shearer was he was the one that was he was like the dog in there. He'd go and win the ball, and I loved playing with him because he admits himself he wasn't the greatest player on the ball, and when you've got someone there who can win it and just lay it off quickly, and then it gives me a bit of time, and I just love playing with Donoghue, Louis Donoghue wide, because he had that much pace. Didn't really need an unbelievable ball.
So fast, yeah.
It was just like I'd just cock it onto my right foot and ping it over the fullback's head, and he was away. That lad was so. And I tried to coach him by slowing down, and he was so quick. He'd get into some really dangerous positions, and he'd do everything quick. I said, Louis, just slow down and try and, if you slow down a little bit, then we can catch up to you. But we had a lot of pace in the team, which really helped us,
Yeah. Another great memory for me was New Year's Eve, 1994. We beat Blackpool at home, 7-1.
7-1, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do remember that. And an offset for that is I went for the manager's job at Blackpool when I left Birmingham City. And one of the old directors, I had one coaching badge, but one of the old directors said, well, you haven't got all your coaching badges. And I said to him, well, I didn't have all my coaching badges when we beat you 7-1 at Birmingham. And he just shut him straight up, you know what I mean? So, incidentally, didn't get the job, like.
Stephen Gill's asking, who was the toughest opponent you faced, and who was the coach that made you a lasting impression on you? So, who was your toughest ever opponent, and who was the coach that made the longest lasting impression on you?
Probably the toughest opponent, my ex-wife, I think. No, I come up against some really tasty left backs when I was, early on in my career. Pearce, Van der Nauw, Mark Dennis, and every one of them was called Psycho. So, especially Pearce, he used to pull his shorts right up, have his thighs, and But I've always said this: Stuart put in his book, I was his most difficult opponent he'd ever faced. And when people asked me that, he said, "What do you think of that?" I said, "Well, he's telling the truth, because I was." He never come out in the second half against me twice. And I remember the first time I played against him, he done me. I had stitches in me just below my shin. And I took my boots off, it was full of blood, and I gave him a torrid time in the second half. Cotty scored 2, and I was brought up that way, and it was a bad loser. But to me, when you play against these tough fullbacks, and they were tough, Mark Dennis was ruthless, and Van der Nauw, he was the nutty one, and your game could be over if you don't compete and don't let them bully you. And I'd say them three were all round the bend.
Paul McCarthy's asking, the best goal you scored for Blues and why?
I think I scored many, did I? I think I hit a free kick. I can't remember who it was against, right on the edge of the box, and when it flew into the top corner. But I'll probably say that free kick.
Yeah, I remember one you got at Brentford as well that went in off the post, the near post. Remember that? Yeah,
I didn't score many.
No.
It was crazy.
Anthony Garvey's saying Brian Clough once said that if he was England manager, he would have picked you. Do you think you were near to getting an England cap? So again, you've sort of touched upon that earlier as well.
That was one of my regrets, but obviously for Cloughy, for a man of his stature and what he'd won in the game, when he puts things in the papers like that, and it was great for me, and especially with Stuart. And I met Stuart last year, just before the COVID. He was in the media room at West Ham, and he came over and shook my hand, and he said, "I could never get the better of you, Baldy." because he was a fantastic footballer, you know.
He was a great player, wasn't he, Stuart Pearce? Yeah. Siobhan Kenny's asking, if you hadn't have gotten into football, is there anything else you wanted to do?
Well, loads of things, but I'm not going to say it on here.
Jason, sorry, go on.
Go on. Ask me the next.
So Jason Hughes, having played in the first final at Wembley to have a golden goal, what do you think of a golden goal settling a game? And he's also said that you're one of his favourite ever Blues players, just class.
Yeah. So what's he saying? Do you think we should bring that golden goal back? Is that what he's saying?
Kind of, yeah. What are your thoughts on it? And I guess that's sort of his question. Yeah. So if you bought it, yeah.
Well, I think when the seasons are longer now. There's a lot of games to be played. So this extra time, I think it'd suit that. The golden goal, because you'd go for it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And we played at Birmingham. We're very attacking side, and Barry, that's what he's all guns blazing, isn't he? And so it suited us really, because we did go for it and in the extra time, and it's a great thing to be involved in when you score that goal, because there's no way back for the opposition.
Mm-hmm. And Dennis is asking, who's the dirtiest player you ever played on a pitch with?
Van der Nauw.
Van der Nauw?
Oh, yeah, Van der Nauw was punch and kick you off the ball, and punches off Mark Dennis, and you wouldn't get away with it now, like.
Yeah. So apart from toughest, then, who's the best player you've ever played with and against?
The best player, Alan Devonshire, played with me at West Ham. What a player! Just when you think he signed for West Ham for £5,000 from a non-league club down in London, and it was just unbelievable. What a player! And played against, I think Dalglish was a fantastic player. Dalglish.
Yeah.
Even though he's a red.
And what about the Blues? Best player you played with at Blues?
With at the Blues, you know what? Some great players. Keeper was great, Benno.
Yeah.
Davey, so consistent, strong. I'd have to say, for consistency, I think I'd either one of them, Benno or Liam.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great squad. Wasn't it? You sport for choice, really, there.
Yeah.
And I put Claret in there. Cleggy was.
Yeah.
I used to call him Stig at the dump, because he never used to go home. He used to sleep in his car.
Yeah.
I said, you're not staying in here. You haven't even had a shower. So I'd go, and he nearly started crying. But great lad, a player that would give his all, and fantastic ability.
Yeah. And then the Liverpool, obviously the 2 games against Liverpool in the cup as well was special, wasn't it?
You know what?
You were gutted. You must have been gutted we didn't beat them, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I missed the first penalty, but we murdered them at St Andrews, and then I also remember a lot on that night. I remember Barry put Dominguez on and then substituted him, and he was crying. He's walking past me crying, and I felt so sorry for him. And I think some managers have done it, and Howard Kendall did it, but I think went to penalties, but we should have won it anyway. You know what I mean? And that's the quality of the side, because Liverpool were a great side at the time, and to take them over to the games. And,
what a goal by Otto, though.
Yeah,
fantastic goal.
Yeah, I always remember I went to watch Liverpool before the first game, and I said they'll play midweek, and I said to Barry, I'll go and watch them. And we all know what Liverpool are about, but I took something from the game, because Ruddock was picking up the ball all the time, and there was no one around him. And what he was doing, he was putting a straight pass into midfield, and Manaman was coming from wide, and no one was tracking him, and he was picking the ball up, and he was causing mayhem. So I said to Barry, I want Claridge to mark Ruddock. He went, what? I said, I want Claridge to mark Ruddock. I said, because everything's going through Ruddock. I said, and he's causing mayhem. What do you effing mean? A centre forward marking us. I said, okay, what I'm saying is, I want him to be around him. I said, and stop him getting the ball, because he's the one that is distributing it. And that was quite the success that we had, because when you're playing these top flight games and all that, you've got to look at the opposition and look at the strengths and the weaknesses. And to me, the strength was, and we sussed that out. And Manaman never got much of the ball. in the 2 games because Cleggy was fit enough to get around Ruddock's feet.
Mm-hmm. He was a special player, wasn't he, McManaman? McManaman was quality.
Yeah, and you've got to stop players playing,
Yeah. That was another player I liked as well, the left back, Cooper.
Gary Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, Gary Cooper.
Yeah. Didn't we have, who was the other fault? John Frame, wasn't it? Frame.
Yeah.
And then we had
we have Franey and Cooper for left back. He always reminded me of Ali Campbell, Gary Cooper. He liked Ali Campbell, didn't he? At UB40.
He did a bit, yeah.
Bevies with him. Then the UB40.
Any questions now, Paul? Because there's more coming in.
Okay, no, that's the questions done. Nick, do you want to do some live ones?
Here we go. Jason Hughes, did you know about Tatis T-shirt at Wembley beforehand?
Sorry?
Did you know about Tatis T-shirt at Wembley before the game?
No, I didn't, and I was very close.
We've actually had a story off him for stand.
No, I didn't know anything beforehand, and I spoke to Paul about a month ago, so I'm still in touch with Paul. Really got on well with Paul. Great talent. He had his problems, but, fair play to him. Boyhood supporter of Birmingham, and to score the winner at Wembley. We got in touch over it, but that's the way it is. I thought it was good.
Tatis' story is that everybody took a T-shirt out of the box, and that was the last one. He said he didn't know anything about it whatsoever. Then he got called up into Sullivan's office on the Monday after, and he thought, I'm going to get rocketed. I'm going to get absolutely rocketed. And Sullivan invited him into the office, had him in, sat him down, he's like, your T-shirt. We're going to market it in the Blues Club shop. Quality.
Yeah, there's I didn't realise, each city like Liverpool and Everton, you got Man United and City, but the rivalry between Villa and Birmingham, until you play for the club and you live there, you don't realise how intense it is. It's a big, intense crowd. Yeah, it is.
Get to play in any games, Mark?
I never played for Birmingham against Villa, but we played the other games, didn't we? West Brom and local derbies. You know what I mean? So I think there's only a few players that have played in a London, Merseyside, Manchester, and a Birmingham derby. I played in every city, haven't I?
Yeah.
Good record.
Yeah. So.
Can't be bad. Right, trying to get this computer. Mark, do you ever meet up with any ex-Blues players from Brenda?
We had a reunion a few years back. I don't know who organised it. I don't know if it was the club, and it was the team, that the cup winning team and the team that won the league, and it was a really good night. Just great to see all the lads. Barry was there. Keep in touch with Liam Dace and Tatey. But I haven't bumped into any of the other lads, to be honest. It's just a lot of...
Right, okay. There we go. So that. Yeah. Okay, so it's up next away and then a home to Millwall. Thanks, Nicholas Walesbury, for that one. Predictions for Luton away, Mark. Mark, with the robe on, I'll start with you.
I've got a funny feeling we're going to win at Luton. I don't know why. I just think we'll scrape it 1-0.
Right, I'm going 4-0. Mr. Hipkiss?
I'm going to go 2-1 to us.
Right. Mark Ward, what do you reckon?
I'll go the same, 2-1 Birmingham.
2-1 to the Blues. Okay, somebody's just gone red. I knew who that was. Who's got a finger in front of the phone?
He's just putting his phone into the flag saying, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'll have to get a different phone.
It's 2-0 to the Blues. Paul Sterndale, 2-0 to the Blues. We've got to start winning. We can't keep going on this. So Brenda said, Jeremy said, Mark, you've got to, if you can shout more than him, come on Blues. You've got to do it. You've got to shout come on Blues as much as you, loud as you can. Jeremy's on.
Come on Blues, mate.
Come on Blues.
Come on Blues.
You'd hear him from New Street Station, mate, I believe. Daniel Ricketts is for a boring 0-0 draw. Daniel, come on. Keep the faith, man. Keep the faith. Michael, Luton 1, Blues 2. Trevor Smith, Luton 0, Blues 1.
Yeah.
Dave Twine, 0-1. Okay, so it's back to Mrs. Brown now and is the hand signals. Let's do the second part of the competition draw to see who else is going to final for the full-time draw for the signed shirt in about 15 minutes' time. Mrs. Brown. Scroll across. Yeah, there he is. Right, okay, you've got a card. 1 second, he said. 1 second it is. That's 1 second. And it's Jay Farrington. Jay Farrington has won, is now in the final. So, Mark Ward, if you could write those 2 names down on a piece of paper.
Yep.
2 pieces of paper.
The first one.
Lovely.
Stav was the first one.
S-T-A-V.
Stav.
Yeah.
Stav.
Stav.
Yeah.
And who else?
Jay Farrington.
Jay Farrington.
Jay. Stav and Jay.
And we'll come back to them in about 15 minutes, all right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Excitement going.
So, Mark, you still got any of your old shirts or Blues memorabilia?
Medals, yeah.
I've done loads for charity, and my sister's got that motor neuron disease, and it's a terrible disease. She lives in Wolverhampton, and she got diagnosed about a year ago, and there's no cure. So I've done loads of charity stuff. We had to build a downstairs bedroom for her and a wet room, and it's a terrible. She's only a year older than me, and she had a cafe. She's doing really well for herself, and I've all my shirts and everything else I've just give away to charity before this, but I had a great response down here from all me West Ham people. I raised £25,000 for one night. I only had 60 people in the room, which is an amazing amount of money.
Yeah.
So I was in a position to help my sister, and she's still clinging on, and I'm hoping to see her next week. But I've never been one for keeping anything. I remember I got my man of the match trophy at Wembley and give it to. As soon as I got back to Birmingham, I ended up going out with the lads and gave it to the fellow who's probably with him for behind the bar. And one of the lads.
You come to a pub?
What are you doing? Sorry.
How can you come to the pub I work in?
I know. It was just the way. I don't know. Might have been a bit. Had too many beers, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'd give away,
Yeah.
That's good. Can I ask you a question, Mark? I read somewhere that when you played in the FA Trophy final in about 1983-84 with Northwich, you lost the final, but did you chuck your runners-up medal away? Was that true?
I never went up for it. Yeah,
you didn't bother.
Yeah. I was I was a terrible loser, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
No.
So, especially at Wembley, I think they targeted me in the first minute. I got a terrible tackle. It should have gone off, really, and I tried to stay on, and my leg was a mess, and I was just so upset. And I remember walking off the pitch, and it's like someone high up in the FA was chasing after me, saying, "You can't do this." I said, "I don't want my medal. I don't want him to lose his medal." And I remember my captain, Kenny Jones. He'd been at the club for years. He'd come in and he went, I was in the bat, and he handed me the medal. And I went to throw it, and he went, "Listen, son," he said, "you've got to learn how to lose." And he said, "Just take it." He said, "And you're going to be in a bit of trouble." I did get in a bit of trouble over it, but, something, I was only 18, so I didn't change much, though.
I can understand that emotions, when the Blues lose, if they lose just a normal league game, I'm vile. Don't speak to me for the rest of the night. Yeah. Stav's our finest, yeah? He said, "Come on, Mark, you're a legend. If he loses, or would you do a signed book for the loser? Because that shirt is iconic. It's iconic. Would you do a signed book for the loser for us, Mark?"
My book.
Hey?
My book. Is that what he wants? Yes. My book to be signed?
Yeah. For the loser, the person who doesn't win the signed shirt, I think you mean, yeah.
It's all the books are sold out. It's that good.
They're all gone. Are you going to stab that? No, it's fine.
No. It's fine. Well, what I'll do is I'll get one, and because I love the Blues, I'll get one, and I'll send it to the loser.
Top man.
Superb. If you send it through to Chris Brown, we'll make sure 100% that it gets to the recipient. Yeah, really kind. Well done. There you go. What a ledge. What an absolute legend. Well, 25 minutes of the show to go. Blimey. Welcome, Vic Singh. Hope you get soon. Saw you post in bed the other night. Sort yourself out and get back to us quickly. If you can. Not if you can, but... Yeah, Stab Smith says it's an awful disease and hard to watch a loved one deteriorate like they do. I think it's either his sister-in-law that's that passed away with it. Can you say, is there anything we can do for you, Mark, at any time? Just let us know. We've got a lot of people out there.
There's been a lot of sports people who've had it recently, rugby players and, even a footballer from Wigan, I forget his name now. So it's been highlighted a lot in the press and things like that. It's just a terrible disease, and I just wouldn't sit on anybody, No.
Paul, could you take us through the 1 to 11? Because Craig Courtney can't wait for it.
Yeah, so Mark, we asked you to pick your 1 to 11, didn't we, from the players you played with for us?
Yes.
So what we go, 4-4-2?
Yes, I missed one out, didn't I?
Yeah. And we normally don't let the guests pick themselves either, but, we'll allow it for you.
I've done this loads of times and for different clubs and things like that. And you didn't say that I couldn't pick myself. So I've had to put myself in my team, haven't I? Because there's no one.
Of course. Well, you would. You'd be the first name on the team sheet, but yeah.
Exactly. So it was Ian Bennett in goal, and then right back Gary Poole. I think it picks itself, this team, really. Anybody who was there all through that season. There wasn't many. To me, this was the strongest side, but it wasn't always
Mark,
the side.
You've cut your head off again, Mark. You cut your head off again.
Can you hear me now?
No, you've cut the top of your head's cut off.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah. So, so I had Ian Bennett in goal, and then Gary Poole.
Yeah.
Liam Dace, Chris White, Premier League winner.
Yeah.
And they had a good understanding. And I went with John Frayne, but I forgot about Coops.
You can't change it now. After the deadline, sorry.
Well, I know, yeah. But
the window's shut.
Well, there wasn't much between them two. So, and then we had midfield of me. I had who else did I have alongside me?
Peter Shearer.
Sorry, Peter Shearer. Then I had Dominguez.
Yeah.
And I had Tatey, didn't I?
Yeah.
In goal, and I had Claridge up front.
Yeah. And then there was there one more as well? Is that
Louis Donovan.
Yeah. So Claridge on his own, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, Claridge on his own with Tatey going to support him, and then you got the trickery of Dominguez and the pace of Louis.
Yeah, yeah.
Good attacking. Because Claridge could hold the ball up. He was a great...
Oh, yeah. He was quality player.
Up the zone. He could run forever. He was so fit.
Yeah.
And, Tatey had a great ability. And I know he wasn't in the team, on a everyday basis with Barry, but I'd have picked him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess if you didn't pick yourself, it would be Jonathan Hunt, would it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, probably Jonathan, in there.
Okay. Yeah. Good side.
Names in there.
Yeah.
Some good names in there. Okay, back to the comments now. Auntie Linda is an absolute rock and a stalwart for the charity work that we do here on the Tilton Talk Show, and also she does an awful work, Sassy Blues, which is the Birmingham City disabled supporters. She said, Mark, I will let you shave my head for motor neurone disease. Let's raise some money for this awful disease. She shaved her head a year ago for our PTSD charity and raised over 800 quid. So that's from Auntie Linda. And there are a few more messages that have come in around the... Mick Greaves, hope your sister gets better soon, Mark. Just remember, Blues are a family club. Keep right on. Stab Smith, who's in the final. I'm sure Accessi Blues will be able to raise a few quid. It means a lot to live myself. Not only my ex-brother-in-law died of it, but my ex-wife lost her son in a road traffic accident in April. And there are more. Brother had it. Irish Schoolboy International passed away 4 weeks ago from Patrick Farrell. So, Mark, what we're going to do Linda is like a rock. She's a Rottweiler as far as raising money is concerned. Linda, summer, and then we'll do something with you. We'll talk after the show, and then Mark will raise a few quid for Motor Neuro. Just after Christmas, we're doing the £3,000 charity up to Christmas. Good idea.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
It's not, mate. You know, you gave your all for us. We'll give it back.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
No problem. And so we'll be in touch. Don't forget that signature for me as well after. Right. We'll give you the address to in a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark. Coming back to your team, who would be the captain in that 1 to 11, mate?
There's only one. Is Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, all the good captains I've played under: Alvin Martin at West Ham, Dave Watson at Everton. You know, all your centre halves are there to be your strong men, and it's where you get all your leadership from. And you know, he was outstanding in that season, and you know, he's an international at the end of the day.
Yeah, he was top draw player.
Good lad.
Yeah.
Good lad,
Yeah.
And who was your football idol growing up as a child?
Well, because I was only tiny, and I was an Evertonian at the time. Kevin Keegan was the B's and E's, wasn't he? But I couldn't tell me dad, and I just loved watching him and his whole action game and everything else. And I remember Liverpool tried to sign me as a kid and took me to Wembley when they got beat by United going for the treble. And they took me to an evening game, and I actually met Kevin Keegan. He come out with a red polo neck on, and I was just like gobsmacked, and I thought. And my dad said, there's only one team you're signing for, so don't get any ideas. You're signing for Everton. And I signed schoolboy and apprentice at Everton. So, you know, that was he was my idol as a kid, like Keegan.
Yeah.
Right, Mark, Stav, who's in our final. Jay Harry, of course. If Mark comes down and shaves Linda's head, I'll put 50 quid in myself straight away. Boom.
Oh, that's brilliant.
We don't
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
Superb. And Daniel Ricketts would love to do something for charity, but wouldn't know where to start. Get in touch with Auntie Linda, Daniel, and she will point you straight in the right direction, my good friend. Believe me. Mike Wood says nobody could play the bugle like Daishi.
Yeah.
Don't know what it means.
Yeah, I always remember something about that. He used to play. Have you heard anything about that? He did.
I haven't, no.
Christmas parties. We used to have a Christmas party, didn't we? They don't have them these days because they don't even have a drink now, do they? But yeah, we had a few nights out with Daisy playing the bugle.
I remember him playing the flute.
Yeah.
Remember that?
He's a good character. Yeah. Yeah. He was Liam. We'd go out on golf days as well. So I think what we had there at Birmingham, we had a good team spirit as well. You know what I mean? The lads were all together, and I think that you need that to win in any division.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Parker's name, Liam Dation, is on to 11, and his captain. We have his shirt from the Huddersfield game. Excuse me. When Blues were promoted, and it's signed. If you want to own it, watch out and give us your bids because we're going to be auctioning that very, very shortly, and it's red.
Yeah. So, Mark, earlier in the year, Liam joined us. Daishi joined us for a show, and he kindly donated his shirt from the Huddersfield game to us to auction.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, Mrs. Brown, just again. Are we ready for the grand final? Yes, we are. Here we go. The grand final is Jay Harrington and Stav. Mark, do the business.
What I've got to do,
Got to draw one out.
And our winner is...
Hang on.
Jay Harrington.
Jay Harrington, yeah.
That will be winging its way to you very, very shortly. And Stav, unfortunate, mate, but I know you're going to look forward to the book and I'm going to look forward to the signed version. Mark will sort it as and when he possibly can. So just bear with a few days on that one.
Okay.
Well done, Jay.
Yeah.
Mr. J, Farrington, wasn't it? Was it Farrington? Yeah.
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 Farrington. Yeah. Stabs also said, "I can't wait. I've got Liam Dacey's shin pad from the Huddersfield game. Want to get that as well." Winner. Jay Farrington, well done for winning that awesome
It's a good prize.
signed shirt. It's got Jude's signature on it, and it's one of the last official ones that ever had his signature on. So, well done. Well done.
So sorry, Nick.
We're into the last 15 minutes, Paul.
I know, yeah, I know.
It?
Are we doing the last 15 this week, or should
we? You know what, Paul? We missed you that much last week, Paul. But this week it's going to be anything to do with going to the dentist. Anything to do with going to the dentist and football. Anything to do with going to the dentist and football. Are you still in pain?
It's not quite right. It's nothing like it was this time last week, but it's going to take a few weeks to heal. I had a tough pull last week, Mark. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm missing it.
Yeah.
Chewing gum just isn't the same. So any more funny stories, Mark? Any more funny stories, Mark? Any more funny Barry Fries or any pranks that the lads did on each other or anything like that? What was it like in the dressing room?
Well, it was a bit split, the dressing room at first. You know what I mean? It was just like, I think, because Barry's brought a lot of players from Barnet and Southend, so them lads were cliquey, weren't they? Because when you got a nucleus of players all from the same club, and we had to try and break that down. And I just took things from my ex-managers and tried to do simple things in training. And to be honest, there wasn't much coaching to be done. It was just a matter of trying to get them fit and into a method of playing, really. And Barry was very, very vocal, as you know, on the sides. But as regards of organising things at half time, God, it was just a complete and utter waste of time because it was that many swear words and screaming and shouting. Nothing ever got sorted out. But, I lived down there. I loved living in Birmingham. It was a place that I never lived. I lived just off the Hagley Road. I had a nice flat off there. So, but, I enjoyed the nightlife, put it that way.
You're quite in a handy location there as well, aren't you? You've got Broad Street as well, not far.
Yeah, it was too handy, to be honest. But got to meet a lot of famous people in the city, to be honest. And I remember like going out with Tatey a lot, and he showed me the sights of Birmingham.
Good stuff.
Good luck. Yeah.
Quality. I've got a few coming in. First one from Wayne Linden. We've got Mark Dentist. Adrian Teeth. That's Heath. Robert Lenar. Mo Lenar. Where do they do it? I can't beat them. Oh, Carol. Sorry about this, but Aston Driller. Oh, Carol.
Ooh.
Carol. Paul Bracewell.
I bet you played with him, didn't you, Mark? Everton.
Bracewell, no. I'd left, but
yeah,
he was in the 80s. Good player he was.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, but I remember the story. Like Cleggy, Claridge liked the bet, didn't he? And David Sullivan had a lot of horses at the time at Birmingham. They were all like daily sports. That was under the banner. And I remember us pulling up to Brentford Football Club, and the race was on the telly. And I used to like the race myself, and I could see Sullivan's horse ready to go into the stalls. And I said to Cleggy, "The chairman's horse is running here, Cleggy. Look at that 33-1. And I always knew that the horse was from his stallion, like soft ground, and it was really raining heavy. It was at Newbury. I said, I'll have a tenner each way on it. He said, so pass the 20 quid, 10 each way, 33-1. And Barry said, Cleggy, see, when you can't swear and all that, it's not as the same.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So he went, Cleggy, and so Cleggy's put the £40 in his top pocket and was just rubbing his hands together, saying, "The easiest money you've ever took," and all that. Like it's like taking money off a baby and all that. Anyway, everyone was watching the race, and as we just pulled up to the stadium, it was at the back of the horse, and it just got up on the line, put its head right on the line. It was a photograph. He went white. So it was a lot. It was nearly a bag of sand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bag of sand. We've heard that story once or twice.
I said to him, he was just like, his bottle had gone. He just put him right off his get. I said, listen, I don't want the money. I said, just leave it. Don't. He said, are you sure? I went, listen, I'm keeping me 20 quid, but don't want the winnings. Give us that back. Anyway, Barry wouldn't, would he? Old Barry, is like £450 like, but he never done that again. Put it that way. He scored as well, to be honest.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't be bad.
Yeah.
Quite a few more coming in now. We've got Paul Rince, Chris Marsdenture. Chris Marsdenture. Yeah, I'll get that one. Filling Summerhill. I was reading that one. Mark Dental Ward. Manuel Petit. Terry Butch Dentist. Enamelin Hughes.
That's a good one.
Oh dear. Kim Upton, back to your horse racing experiences, Mark. Back to my first statement. To the tip you gave to my husband at Wolverhampton races is still the running. He will never forgive you for that, lol.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, gambling, it's not for me. Horse racing for me, I'm not all for it. So it's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't mind the flutter, but I'm not horse racing.
No. Abscess Fabregas. Abscess Fabregas, I got that one inside, yeah. I never thought they'd get one, Paul, but they come back week after week, don't they? They never fail.
Oh, yeah,
never
yeah,
fail.
yeah.
Mark, your time at Blues then. What was it like in the dressing room before the game? Like, it can be a noisy lot.
Yeah,
did you pick up on them before the games?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you pick up on the crowd before the game? Could you
I
hear it in the dressing room?
I used to enjoy the walk from the dressing room. It was quite a long walk to the pitch.
Then, didn't it?
Yeah, but
yeah.
The atmosphere at the ground was I thought it was a great place to play football. I was lucky enough to play for some big clubs, and I've always said Birmingham. The 2 years I spent there was fantastic. And when you think about it, I don't think I was on the losing side many games. Even then, 10 games on loan, they won 8 of them. So I'm a great believer in I knew I'd made a difference that season, and I was hungry to go back. And I think them 10 games, it gave me an insight to the club, the fans. Barry wasn't my type of manager, but I took that on board because I thought I was still playing. And when you can still play, you can influence games. As a coach, and you're not the player coach, you're just on the line and you're just shouting out orders. But when you can get your foot on the ball and you can do things, I think that really helped me as well.
Mm-hmm.
When you ended up at Huddersfield, Mark, would you say you sort of fallen out of love with the game? Had your passion for it gone?
Yeah, I was really upset because I thought, what I'd done at the club at Birmingham in a short space of time, I thought I might have had an opportunity, Barry had moved on or whatever to take over there, because it's, even Barry has said in the past I had the qualities to be a manager, because being a manager some great footballers have become bad managers. So, I think I had the honesty, and I played in most divisions, and I could still spot a player from, I think now, if I was going to be involved with the club, scouting would be a fantastic job for me, because, I know a player, I can see a player from miles away, and, everyone thinks they know a player. Everyone thinks, they've got the favourites, this, that, and the other. But to me, weighing up players from lower divisions, especially, who can improve as they go along, because there's always improvements in players, and I think that's what I had from Everton. Let me go at 18 and saying I wasn't big enough or strong enough or quick enough. I never got any bigger, but I tell you what, I got stronger and I got quicker. And sometimes you really need to improve your game, whether it could be physically, for your athleticism, or working on a part of your technique. It's easily done, and some players just lack a little bit of their game to master and become a proper player.
Interesting. Quite a few more coming in through the dental regions, and I think I've picked my winner. We've got Filling Neville. This is one. This is up there. Michael Flossell.
That's a good one.
Paul Rince we've already had, but I think like this one. Trevor Hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Don't get that one. We've got Blue Minty Gel Merrick, and John Scales. This lot of mad kid, honestly, they're mad as actors.
What about Spit Simons? Remember Kit Simons?
Oh yeah, Spit Simons.
Spit Simons.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it really was a pleasure watching you play for us, Mark. Thanks for the memories, mate. It really was good times.
Well,
yeah,
it's a pleasure coming on, lad.
Yeah.
Final.
I'll get that book signed, and you have to give me an address, and I'll send it to who's having it.
We'll do.
Stav.
Yeah. I'll get you to send it to Chris Brown, yeah?
Yes.
And then we'll get it past.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
5 minutes to go till the end of time. Where has that gone to? We told you to go quick.
Listen, I'm usually in bed now. I get up very early.
Yeah, what's up?
So are you still involved in football? If not, what are you doing nowadays?
Well, like I said, I'm working for a water treatment company, so I'm in the Royal Free Hospital tomorrow. It's like a building site, one of the wards, so I'm in charge of it there. So we put all the water in, all the water softeners to soften the water before that gets mixed with the blood for the dialysis. And because of this COVID, one of the problems with people who've had COVID badly, the kidneys fail. So my boss will flat out. I'm in Ireland in a couple of weeks. We've been all over Scotland, Wales, Devon. So we work a lot away, and it's quite intense because they want these dialysis units done as fast as possible in case there's a big second spike. But hopefully, they won't have to do that.
Have you had to work in Brum?
Wolverhampton, we've done something in Wolverhampton and Birmingham. Yeah, they have these satellite, dialysis units now. Usually they're on industrial estates. You wouldn't even know that, they're there, and it's like they're getting built all around the country because there's not enough dialysis units if loads of people need dialysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Just to confirm as well, next week's guest, we've got the pleasure of Ian Atkins joining us. So Ian Atkins is our special guest next week. Do you remember much of him, Mark, to play against him?
Yeah, I remember him playing, and he's managed as well, hasn't he? So he's
so we've got our special guest next week.
Yeah.
Good. And
Chris has just put a piece of paper up and asked if you can stay just for 2 minutes after the show.
Yes, not a problem.
Okay, last couple in then. We've got dentist-wise, Ollie Gummer Solskjaer and Archie Gummel. Well, that's a good one. Archie Gummel. Mick James, I think you worked on Archie Gummel. There we go.
One more quick... Sorry, go on, Nick.
Yeah, Linda, who's offered to have a shave charity, wants to know when you're next back in, Mark.
When I'm next back?
In Birmingham.
Well, I'll go see my sister. She lives in just outside Wolverhampton, so I'll probably be up before Christmas because I'll be working away. I've got quite a bit of time off at Christmas, so I'll probably be around then.
Okay. It's all out after next week anyway, so hopefully we can get that done. And you can meet up with a shaver Bonsoff once again.
Yeah, this is just the head she wants to see.
Again. Paul McCarthy, great show. Keep it up. Jason Hughes, Lister Atkins. Listerine Atkins next week.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. One quick last question from me, Mark. What's the best goal that you remember us scoring when you was on the pitch?
Oh, we scored a lot that season, didn't we?
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that, you know, that golden goal was just, I know it's the Wembley and it's a bit of a cliche, but I knocked the ball out. We just wanted the game to finish, and I knocked the ball out to Ricky Otto. He done brilliant, and it was a quick cross, and Tate, it just glanced off his head, and he knew what he was doing. Yeah. And to me, I think, you know, to win a final at any level, especially at Wembley, and the elation from the fans and everything, it was fantastic. I think that goal, will always remember that.
Yeah.
Mind you, we didn't have much time to celebrate. Didn't we? We had Brentford like 2 days later, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah, we did. Yeah, and I remember it was on the TV, wasn't it? And someone dragged me, and I got presented with this Man of the Match award, and all the lads are getting all the photos done, you know, with the trophy and everything, and I was never on the photo, and I was a bit gutted about that.
You get interviewed by Sky, was you? Yeah, Man of the Match.
It was. I can't remember. It was.
Yeah. I think it was. Yeah. I mean, I was there with my dad, but I think it was on. I think it was the first sort of final to be sort of. I think it was on Central, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Was it?
Yeah, the first time they'd ever sort of shown it.
Yeah,
on mainstream.
It was a big game. To be honest, Birmingham had been at Wembley for so many years, and I remember doing loads of interviews and everything. The build up to the game, it was like an FA Cup final, because the way the fans had just, you know, warmed to Birmingham going back to Wembley after all them years. It's a fantastic day out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is about all we've got time for on the Tilton Talk Show. It's been an hour and a half of absolute pleasure talking to a legend, is Mark Ward. Thanks so much. Lots of people are saying thank you so much for all the memories and the 2 great seasons you had with us, a promotion and a Wembley visit and taking that trophy. But we could have asked for more. Mark Ward, ladies and gents. Mark Ward.
Thanks very much.
So from Mr. Hicks, a.k.a. Mr. Sheen.
Good night, all.
And from Mark, a.k.a. Mr. Robe.
Good night, everyone. Please stay safe.
Chris's microphone isn't working. I'll say good night on behalf of him. And it's good night from me. Thanks for being with us on the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Boyle Sports in conjunction with SAS Auto and, of course, Borsey Labour Club and the Gareth Poppy Company. Thanks for being with us. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you back here next Monday, 7:30 through till 9. And let's hope we get a good win to talk about. Good night. Keep right on. Ladies and gents, Mark Ward, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
We'll support you.